before, defending their title against none other than Azubu Blaze. I mean, they are a top team in the world easily. And Gambit obviously, qualified for Season 3 already. They won that Gamescom. They placed decently well in the World Finals. They lost to TPA, but we are in the picks and bans now. And let's see what Gambit takes away from Azubu Blaze right off the bat.
When you look at what we've seen in previous games, we've got Olaf, Evelyn, Chen, Kale, Twisted Fate, a lot of different bans there, Blitzcrank, Cho'Gath, we just seen a Mumu ban a couple of times as well. Kha'Zix has been there, although more often than not he's actually been left open in the last couple of games and picked by one team or another. However, after seeing what Gambit did in that first semi-final game, I've been very surprised to see Blaze leave that open. They have banned that Olaf straight away, they banned Diamond Proxy's Lee Sin too as well. There's that Kha'Zix ban, unsurprising whatsoever. What it is surprising is that Caitlyn. Misfortune we saw again in the semi-finals from Gambit, they took her away, but Caitlyn, they first picked her Fnatic first picked her in their semi-final. Gambit, they haven't really used her, but she's very, very powerful. Why ban her? Maybe they want to go for some kind of lane switch strategy, of which Caitlyn Lulu, we've seen time and time again, shut down some lane switches. Maybe there's something else there.
Yeah, they did run Caitlyn Lulu against them, and maybe it's just something they don't want to really go up against. Like you're saying, the lane switch is very devastating to them. They used it in that last game a little bit, as we do have, looks like Evelyn being logged in as the first pick, so we are going to finally see Alex playing that champion. And immediately Azubu responds with that Rise pick, which Alex did so well with those teleports.
We've seen Soaz try it, we've seen Rapidstar try it, Evelyn. Only today has she been played, she's been banned all weekend, but only today did she actually get to see any playtime. And it didn't really work out, never did what she wanted to do. She got to the back of the fight, popped those abilities, but she just died too quickly. Is Alex about to show us exactly what you do with it? Is he going to show us how she works? We're about to find out, because Flame has picked for Ambition, most likely, that Rise, which we saw Alex do in the last game, his favourite champion, his pro player pick champion. So we're going to see whether he does that. And of course, Alex ran in with a teleport, so there's that option still there for Ambition as well. They did get that shed nice and early on, as again, unsurprising, we saw him banned throughout, so first picked a couple of times. He is still a solid champion, whether in the jungle or the top lane, and that global presence is a very powerful thing to have.
Yeah, looking at the stats real quick, I mean, Shan's been banned 3 times, picked 5 times, about 66% of the games so far. And I mean, you really can't let Blaze have Shen. They're so good with him, but we do see that Mundo locked in, which was played against him actually in game number 1, in day 1. And then we see that Ezreal again coming out of Genja. I'm going to see, we're all going to see how well he's going to do this game. And now, I'm about to say Kog'Maw. Doesn't really seem like they'd actually go for that, but they will be sitting on that Cho'Gath, which, in these playoffs actually has been kind of a highly contested pick.
Yeah, we saw Helios playing that Mundo against Diamond Proxy's Mumu and shutting him down very, very aggressively in those first games in their group stage, in the very first game of the weekend, which was what was a real pain in the side of Gambit Gaming. Captain Jack is sitting on that Kog'Maw now. Ambition picked up that Nunu. That will be a support AD carry bottom lane. It's a very powerful combo, that Blood Boil, giving him so much attack speed, allowing him to build some early damage instead of the attack speed items. And with these W proc in his range, he can start to tear through the tanky players, and in this case, Mundo on that Gambit Gaming lineup.
Yeah, I think they'll be doing a lot of damage, and they have that strong tanky front line with that Rise. I mean, you're going to try to get back there. We do see Alex just actually pop up behind him with that Evelyn. You're going to immediately snare him, taunt him, and blow him up like we just saw Gambit Gaming do against Frost. We are going to need some sort of, I don't know, just some sort of assassin, it seems like. Yeah, Evelyn is, but Gambit needs to be able to get into that backline. We saw Fnatic have such a hard time against against Blaze, in the earlier best of 3. And let's see if Gambit can actually do something that Fnatic could not. That Sona's still being side on Ghost Pepper, or Edward, favorite champion. I mean, he's so good with that Sona. He always runs that Knight typically, and picks up so many kills, and we might see that, that Renekton getting locked in against. We'll have that Darren in the top lane with him. Played exceptionally well with him. Today, obviously the first day wasn't that good.
Yeah, it didn't really work out for him that time around, but today he's been incredible and just shutting down lanes and taking it through the late game and getting very, very tanky, using all his abilities, using his shreds, using his AoE, using his stun to great effect, killing ward after ward, using
that was amazing
damage proc, which can be ridiculously powerful in its own right. But we do see Edward locking in that Sono, so he's going to keep that. He's going to have that Ezreal lane. It's going to be very high on poke damage. Keeping his Ignite wouldn't surprise me, as you say. We've seen him take kills with it before. I think it's obviously not always
he's securing the kills.
To have the Ignite on that support can be very, very useful. Allows the AD carry to take something a bit more defensive. Not the end of the order. Support dies all the time, so long as they get a kill in the process, or 1-for-1 trade where an AD carry dies and the support dies, it's always going to be better for the team that gets the AD carry kill instead. So we'll see that. And obviously they're going to switch it around to Genja once he gets his last pick locked in from Losty Boy. If this goes, we are first Vladimir of the weekend across the board. No picks, no bans until this moment. And it does look like it's staying there.
If I'm not mistaken, Vladimir is actually banned out against him in IPL 5.
That sounds about right from what we saw earlier.
Yeah, but we will see. It looks like Ambition with his Rise going to have Flash Teleport, just like we saw Alex Itch doing, going to kind of give him a taste of his own medicine here. And who do you really have to take this game? Because in my opinion, Gambit has a stronger early game, especially with that Renekton, especially with you know, the other team having Kog'Maw. But obviously, as Kog'Maw gets more fed, the game kind of drags on. He's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, Azubu have that late game. Vladimir's just going to get stronger. Shen's just going to get stronger. Rise is just going to get stronger. Kog'Maw's just going to get stronger and stronger. But, I mean, it's not always going to be late game before that happens. They can be powerful in mid-game. They can be powerful in the early team fights, the Dragon contests, once they start to group up and be 5v5 engages. Gambit's strength's going to come from the roaming Evelyn, the power of Diamond Proxy's aggressive Mundo, getting in and weeding out those cracks in Azubu's line, dodging through the wards, clearing that and ganking onto the Darien lane, which is going to be very strong in the early levels. Flame is going to have to be quite careful because, yes, he's got that range to farm, but he's not very safe early on. Vladimir suffers a lot to gap closer champions. Darien has a gap closer. Darien is a very powerful early game champion. If Mundo comes in to help out, Flame could be in a little bit of trouble.
I was actually mistaken. Vladimir was not banned out against them in that, so a little bit of my bad there. But, you know, Panky, where's the action going to go down? Which lane do you think is going to be the key lane to watch and the key lane for each team?
Considering how much they've been swapping them backwards and forwards, I don't want to know just yet. They could still go anywhere, but it's going to be a case of watching this Rise, watching this Evelyn, watching her roam, watching how he follows, whether he initiates the roam, and which one of them is more effective in their pushing and shoving as the other leaves the lane. It's going to set the pace of how this game goes. And of course, yet to see Evelyn work in team fights. Alex has to show us that she can still do that in this patch.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do a lot better than we currently saw in that first game against Frostier. But we're going to go ahead and pass it over to Jad, Demon, and Joe. Take this game number 1 of the Grand Finals away.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Grand Finals. It's Azubu Blaze versus Gambit Gaming. Who would have called it at the start of the day? Azubu Blaze seem pretty happy with their picks, I feel here. Meanwhile, Gambit Gaming, with the cheers for Gambit, they are certainly going to be the home crowd favourite, the one remaining team in Europe. You can hear the crowd. They want Gambit to win this one. The question is, Joe, can they?
I think anything's possible after they just 2-0'd Azubu Frost. I mean, they looked so good, and this could be already very early on here. Some interesting action. Ambition around the corner. Is someone going to peek out? Yes, it's Edwards who shows himself there. Shen was actually coming in from that top side as well, and I think that might be all she wrote for level 1.
Everybody backs away, so Ambition on Rise, something he's been on a lot. I was kind of wondering whether we were going to see Helios coming out on anything other than Shen. It was Flame that was picked up. We expected a different jungler. We were thinking maybe Cho'Gath or Nocturne, but no, Helios did go for Shen.
It was one of those strange things because in their huge 10-game set between Azubu, Frost in the OGN, they picked Shen a couple times, but only played him top lane. So we figured that Flame was going to be the Shen player, and Helios doesn't have really recorded experience on jungle Shen, so they really threw a curveball. I wonder if Gambit got caught off guard by it.
Yeah, and, you know, they caught us off guard with Frost's builds earlier on. And of course, Blaze, they pulled out the Taric earlier on, Taric Urgot, which kind of we thought may well make an appearance in one of these games. Maybe it will do, but not in this game. So Helios starts off, takes the blue duo lanes, both down bottom, and the top lanes set themselves out. Renekton versus Vladimir in the top, Evelyn versus Rise in the mid, and down the bottom here, Gosu Pepper getting pinged out, has just warded up the dragon, comes down, gets a little poke on Captain Jack. So I expect Edward and Genja to try and lay the pressure early on towards this new Kog'Maw company, because we know that pairing can be incredibly strong when we get towards the late game, Joe.
So Alex Itch there just taking a bit of damage down in the bottom lane, though. Captain Jack going very low, but they can't quite find that finisher, and that would have been the dream start. Imagine that Ezreal getting in there for first blood.
And that's just Genja and Edward carrying through the aggression from the previous set. That's not something we would have usually seen from Genja 6 months ago, even 2 months ago. They're really going hard here.
Definitely turning the aggression on Genja. And they trying not to all back off there. Captain Jack had to go back, of course, but Lust Boys stuck around. Instead, they're going to continue. Are they going to lose this massive wave of farm? It's going to lose a fair bit of it. Don't think it's going to be too much so, but both duo laners, are they going to go back? We see Genja was recalling. No, they're going to stick around and try and keep the pressure on towards the turret. This turret is going to get shredded a great deal, at least a third of the health taken off already. Top lane, well, you can see Flame being taken down very low by Darian. Darian, so strong. We've seen him already. You know, we talked about Renekton earlier on, saying, you know, he generally loses with it, but he's played brilliantly. Maybe it's one of the champions he's just gone back to the drawing board. You remember back to the Yorick he used in Season 2, and everyone was like, why didn't he use something different?
At this point, it's comfort for him, right? Because he's played it so much, and he must have just rededicated himself to making this champion work, especially in the very first game. Something we missed to point out is the armor shred on his Slice and Dice second proc was great with their all-physical team.
This is going to cause a problem here. We're going to see two junglers coming in, Joe. They're going to both dive in towards Flame.
They're going in towards Flame. He was going to pull up here. They had no idea. I think that Helios was actually there. The taunt comes down, but Helios was stunned as well, and a bit of a flat ending to that little encounter there. Both players kind of just like, okay, well, that's what happened there with that one. But they could put some good pressure down on this, so we can see down in the bottom lane, Captain Jack certainly not healthy, but that range, Genja needs to be a little bit cautious of. And as you talked about earlier, Jack, I mean, Genja is not normally the aggressive player. As Alex Itchia is going to go in on towards Ambition, but can't quite find the finisher. But yeah, my point was it's Edward that was the aggressive one, always flashing in for kills and ridiculous things like that. But Genja, to be honest, the way that he's played today, this aggressive style has really helped Gambit out.
And I think a lot of it has to do with him playing Ezreal so much in these circumstances, because he can be just as aggressive but still defensive as the teleport comes in bot.
Well, Ambition teleports it in. He's going to have to flash and try and drive something in. It's going to be Edward they go for, but look at Genja turning the aggression towards Ambition. The Ignite going down. Now he's on towards Captain Jack. Here comes Diamond Props around the side. They're going to get up towards Captain Jack. It's going to be first blood. Captain Jack goes down. Alex is coming around the side now. He's going to push away. They're going to go in towards Ambition. Evelyn comes around. Alex tries to put the damage down. Edward picks up the kill. Now they're on towards Lust Boy. Alex is going to continue chasing this one. Has he got the damage? No, but it doesn't matter. It's a 2-0. Great start.
And this is like what happened in the second game just previously between Azubu Frost. They got a double kill under this turret, and from there, Genja and Edward just ran away with the lane.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible because, again, they had this false sense of security somehow. That they thought, oh, well, it's going to be 3-on-2 down there. They come in, then you get Alex Itch coming around the back. But now that gives us a brilliant start for Gambit Gaming. One kill going in for Mundo. Yeah, one on Sona. We talk about, yeah, ideally that would have gone to the AD carry, but kills the kill, and it'll just get Edward rolling that bit faster.
Well, you can see Darian getting the stun down on Flame. He's starting to be brutal on that top lane. Flame, of course, it's not going to be too strong on Vlad until he starts to build up a bit. But that bottom turret, is almost gone already. They've put so much damage down on it, and they're bullying at that bottom lane. Flame again getting caught out there. Darian continuing to punish. Mid lane, we're also seeing Ambition from Alex Itch once again. Ambition having to use his ultimate to just keep him away. I tell a lie, he hasn't even got his ultimate yet. He was just pinging the bouncing around. But this bottom lane, Genja, is just so aggressive right now.
Alex and Diamond Procs are coming around for another dive. If they don't ditch the turret right now, they're going to get double killed.
Here we go then. This is bad news. Ultimate comes down. There's the first one. Captain Jack low. Captain Jack's dead. A double kill for Edward. 3-0-1. An irony of when we're talking about him flashing in for kills, he is now just picked up a double.
He's done it again.
He's gone back to Pepper.
He may as well just start getting AD and just go for it. Why not? But as it stands, they are going to keep a great big creep wave of pressure on there. They're going to steal away the blue buff now because they realise that Helios, he's having to defend the turret down the bottom there. So Genja is going to come around with Edward to steal away the blue buff, and that goes across the Diamond Procs.
I'm surprised he didn't take blue buff on Sona as well. I mean, he has all the kills. He may as well have gotten it.
Well, Dragon is the next target. They've got 3 men there. Evelyn's in the middle lane should they need Alex to come down there, but it won't be needed, to be honest. There's no vision there whatsoever. 7 minutes, 40 seconds, Dragon for Gambit.
In all honesty, Edward getting those 3 kills is actually really bad for them, but I think they have enough advantages, crushing down Captain Jack twice, keeping him at 22 mini kills, having the turret a couple hits away, and taking the dragon. They might get away with it, in all honesty.
Genja being aggressive or straight away once again. Back in towards the middle. Alex is getting a little bit of damage on it from Ambition there. A little too close to the turret to start fighting him. Immediately prisons him up there. Bottom lane, also Genja had to back away. He lost a lot of health down the bottom there, so finally Captain Jack trying to turn the tables on him as best he can. Ghostly Pepper returning to lane, or Edward, whatever you'd like to call yourself these days. Or Edward, I should say, space it out nicely. Went and spent a nice chunk of gold there, get himself a heart of gold. Well, maybe he's thinking of trying to get a heart of gold, but then he'd be in the wrong season.
Good recovery, Demon. Thanks. I was wondering where you were going with that one.
I could see your quizzical looks to me there, Joe.
Thought you were trying to troll me. But we've just seen Darren actually come down into this middle lane as well. Just going to force Ambition away. His teleport will be up fairly shortly for that one, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that front. Let's have a quick look through the CS and how it stands now that we've got a bit of a quieter period. We have in that top lane 46 for Renekton, 54 for Vladimir. So far so good from Flame's side of things there. In the jungle pretty much bang even. Middle lane, Evelyn a little bit behind, which you can expect since he's been down into that bottom lane a couple of times. AD carries where that big difference is though. 51 to 32, 4 assists on Ezreal. Should probably have been 3 kills on Ezreal.
They were trying to get Captain Jack there involved to try and help him out. He came up to the mid lane. Instead they've stacked 3 members in the mid lane. They realise that bottom turret is under pressure, so they're trying to create some pressure of their own. Captain Jack though is going to try and come in there, but Corpora Mundo of Diamond Procs flinging out those briefcases. Edward is going to come around the side as well. Has got Crescendo available, should he require it, gets that poke down and just defends off the turret. Meanwhile that giant creep wave, that is going to take down the bottom turret all on its own. It's going to be the first turret of the game for Gambit Gaming. Up the top here, it's going to be Stan United coming on towards the Azubu Flame, and they're going to try and catch on towards him. Dyrin is going to go down here, and he must have taken a lot of turrets here. He might get dropped. The turret turns back onto him. He does get it. Can he turn the return? No, he cannot teleport. Oh, here comes Evelyn. Alex is going to get up towards Helios. Is he going to be in time? He needs to run the damage down just in time. Catches him out there. And Gambit just make the recovery.
A little bit ropey there with that one coming in, but kill secured, and that's it.
You can just see the momentum that Gambit has from the first game carrying them through.
Yeah.
Same start as they had last game, same confidence, same savvy that they're playing with, and they have the pressure. In the game that Azubu Blaze played against Fnatic, they were just pressuring them all over the map. It's almost a complete opposite watching this one.
Oh, and the top lane's under pressure as well. See Darian continuing to pressure on towards that turret. He's got Siege Minion in there. They're just putting pressure all across the map. This is what we're so used to seeing the Azubus do. Gambit, they were famous for being so aggressive, and it seems to be back in their favor. They have things working out. Look at that. Darian going back in that Hextech blade as well. And well, as it stands, they are just looking so strong here. The momentum, as I mentioned it before, if they were to beat Azubu Frost, was definitely going to carry them through. Meanwhile, this top lane, you can see Flame getting pressured once again by Darian, building perfectly against that lane. He's happy to tank this one through at the moment. Flame, though, up to level 9 on Vladimir. He'll start gaining the strength. Look at that immediately. We're seeing the Giants belts everywhere once again from the Koreans.
And look at the build difference between Genja and Captain Jack right now. It's a Dorn's Blade and a longsword versus a BF sword, a pickaxe, and a Dorn's Blade. That's not even remotely comparable. This time they smell Alexich coming and just completely back away, but Captain Jack is getting completely denied here. He's level 5, almost 12 minutes into the game on Kog'Maw.
And Genja is level 8. That just shows the difference. Alex, you've got to be careful. You can't 3v1. He is going to back away Ambition in that mid lane. Edward doing the poking, Edward doing the tower pushing right now, and why not? You know, if 3-0-1 support, maybe stealing a little bit too much away, but again, just getting all the free farm down that bottom lane. He's keeping it up. Look at the CS, 83 to 47. It is a huge disparity between those two.
Yeah, and this Kog'Maw seriously behind here, wondering how they're going to be able to catch this one up, because it just means that it's going to take Captain Jack so much longer to get to that state where, you know, you want your Kog'Maw to be, where he can do that mass amount of damage, which is not going to come too early in this game. We can see there are 3 men in the middle, causing a couple of problems for Gambit, but with Diamond Procs coming in now, they could want to change this around. Ezreal coming up from that bottom lane as well. Top laners are still bashing each other's face in up there, but you know, this is 4 versus 4 in the middle, and we'll see if they're able to take a turret.
Well, we can see Genja's actually just around the side. True Shot Barrage rattles runs across the entire team. Captain Jack take it down very low. That's going to offer them some damage on towards the turret. They also have blue buff available to him, which it looks like Genja's going around to steal here. Yes, he is. Genja is on the blue buff while the rest of the team are completely kept occupied on this mid lane, and that is going to be Diamond Prox moving in. He's had to flash away though, popped his ultimate. They are going to take the blue buff away, and now they're just keeping poking. It was all just buying time for Genja.
Really, really nicely done there by Gambit, and that's one more piece of the puzzle complete for them. 18.8 to 14.7 thousand gold, 5 running lead, turrets in their favor as well. And even though there's so many positive things going for Gambit Gaming as they dive Captain Jack.
Flash through there, Stan United comes out, but Genja might be able to take him down. Yes, he will. Now you can see Alex Inch, he's going to try and get away from this one. Shadow Dash, is it going to be enough? No, it is not. I was about to say the only saving grace in the game right now is Flame on that top lane. He is out farming Darien. He's trying to keep into it, but the rest of his team, the lanes are just being obliterated.
And the other thing that might be a saving grace for Azubu as Gambit takes yet another dragon is Azubu's late game team comp, if they can somehow get there, is incredible. It is beyond good at this point, but if they fall behind anymore, they're just going to lose it before they get there.
96 to 53 CS. They're finally a kill coming down for Genja after it was Edward who took them all away from him before.
It's only because Edward wasn't there.
Yeah, I was going to say that would have been Edward's 4th kill of this one if he was actually somewhere close enough. And he had his flash and his ignite available, so he definitely would have gone for that one right underneath the tower. But yeah, Genja in this middle lane now, again just pushing those creeps out, and he's really scary with that blue buff on as well. Can be throwing those W's, Q's out there. Yeah, he's straight in there, not messing around at all.
This is very aggressive Genja stuff here. Of course, he has that blue buff, so he's just going to keep on piling the pressure. He now has Alex Itch alongside him. They're just keeping on towards that turret. Ambition having to back off. The next creep wave, they may well get some more Pokemon towards it. Lustboy putting the wards down in the bush. While this is all happening, though, Captain Jack is off the side. He's getting a lot of creep farm. He's had about 3 waves of creep so far, which is slowly but surely starting to gain him a little bit back on him. But we're going to see an Infinity Edge coming out very soon by Genja. The middle turret is going to go down. Gambit Gaming 2-0 up in turrets right now.
Yeah, one interesting thing to look at as well is the fact that look how many wards are actually down. They are going to dive in on towards Flame here. He's going to pull, but Diamond, full HP, goes straight in there. Darian's going to join the party here as well. This is going to be a kill. Tried to steal it there with a true shot barrage. Didn't get the steal, but they've got that kill settled in. 7-1. They may even be able to get this top turret down with Alex and Edward both coming in.
Yeah, they are coming in. Azubu only have Helios up there. They're going to try and push the mid lane though. Again, just trying to just bait them towards the side. Bottom lane's also being pushed by Captain Jack. He's going to back off. Top lane's being pressured still by Alex Itch. And Helios, and there's Edward getting the poke on towards that turret. They keep hitting it slowly but surely. It is going down, and this could be the 3rd turret of the game. I don't think they're going to pick it up this time around, but it's very close though.
And I just got to point out, for the 3rd game in a row, Alex Each has really gotten a boot upgrade extremely fast. Home guard boots already acquired on Evelyn, so he's just making sure that as soon as he goes missing, he can go shop and appear almost anywhere. They might go in for the dive here.
Crescendo goes down as well, but here comes Ambition to this top lane. Helios was burning, but it just wasn't quite enough. That teleport was enough to scare him off.
Was enough, and Helios taken very low there. Alex Itch, I think it was just reactionary. They baited on towards Gosu Pepper, and he just went, you know what, I'm going to turn around and crescendo you in the face. And Darien, meanwhile, continuing to farm bottom lane. Flame tries to return to lane, but immediately shreds half his health off. And they're just keeping the pressure on Genja. It's just laying down so much pressure in that mid lane that they just can't deal with him. They just don't know what to do at the moment. Azubu seems to be caught off the foot here. Gambit Gaming just keeping the pressure down.
Yeah, and look how many wards that Azubu are forced to put down here because they've lost that outer turret in the middle. They need to keep tracks on his edge rail basically because he's playing that aggressive that he could just be appearing everywhere. And that's a lot of money in wards considering how far behind they are.
Well, it's also Alex Itch on Evelyn. You know, Evelyn is a roamer. Yeah. That is his job. But he's got nowhere to roam at the moment because every single lane is pushed. And Azubu are just trying to fight the way out of this one. Tank it up. Farm it out, do what they can. Captain Jack, you see he got that GP10, got that average blade. He's going to continue farming. We did see him having this earlier on when he was up against it. And we saw against Fnatic, they are not unbeatable. They can be taken down. Fnatic took them for a really good run for their money. See the gain of the top. Darian just keeping that pressure on towards Flame. He's got a giant wave coming in this time, but it's bottom lane they're piling in towards, and it is going to be Captain Jack. He's going to get singled out. Diamond was thinking of going around the bottom there. Instead, they're just going to let him back away. Still, the top lane, where he's going very deep in the top lane there. Darian might get caught out. Captain Jack's also in trouble down the bottom. Darian, though, could get taken down here. Azubu should finish him off. He's going to slice and dice his way through and make the escape. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, now you can see Genja with Ambition. They're poking back and forward.
And you can see the pressure accumulating across every lane once again for Gambit Gaming. We were talking before the day, actually, and everyone was expecting both Azubus in the final. No one was expecting Gambit Gaming to potentially take out both of them. This was probably the least expected outcome of all of them, if we had to guess. And that, getting back to that escape that Darian threw top lane with Renekton. Flame has a Warmog's armor straight up on Vladimir, so it's going to take him a while before he can ramp up his damage. That's one of the reasons Renekton was able to escape so well.
Right now, Renekton just going up into this top lane and keeping that one as healthy as possible, down to around about half HP. Bottom is being pushed out here as well. We can actually see another giant spell there in for Shen as well, and they may even just go straight in and try and take down this turret. I mean, they've got it when Ezreal's there. There's not a lot, I think, that that Blaze can do about that.
And there it is, Gambit taking away the wolves, they've taken away the blue, they've taken away the red, they're just taking away every little piece of Azubu Blaze, any little jungle they can get. There's the third turret going down. It's 3-0. They're going in towards Ambition. True shot. Barrage comes across. Alex is trying to finish this one off. Genja's getting on there, but again, Stand United from Helios just surviving, helping them. There's been so many close fights so far. They let Shen through. We thought this may be a mistake, but clearly Gambit Gaming have an answer for everything that the Koreans have been throwing at them so far, and this middle turret may well go down. It's the fourth turret of the game. It's an inner turret. Now they're going in towards Helios. Helios taking down Crescendo, comes across. Helios gets dropped, and now Lust Boy's the target. Flame's going to come around the side. Flame may get picked off. The damage being put across the board. He pops his Hemoplague. Is it going to be enough? No, because there's not a lot of damage coming out from Flame at all. Ambition gets on towards Genja. Genja with no mana. They're going to back away from this one and take the dragon. 8-1 currently Gambit Gaming.
And even though Genja had no mana, he was just brawling with Ambition. He knew he had the lifesteal and the team behind him that would force Azubu to back off. That was another fight they won very, very well. This lead is just ballooning beyond absurdity. 10,000 gold at 20 minutes is a romp.
It's a ridiculous amount, isn't it? I mean, 4-0 in the turrets there as well. 8-1. Dragons all going over towards Gambit. And I mean, this Kog'Maw, if you just look at the items there, Bloodthirst, the Last Whisper, Merc Treads and Adorance Blade, compare that with then a Zeal, an Avarice Blade, and a Vamp Scepter with a Berserker Greaves in there. Like, there's no comparison whatsoever in this one. He's currently almost 60 CS behind from that one. Top lane, yeah, Shy is in the lead, but that's one of the only areas.
Well, we see them diving on towards the top lane now. They're going to be running through. Are they going straight in towards the Baron Pit? Darian is going to clear that one out. He can slice and dice up towards Flame at the moment in that top lane. Alex is collapsing in. Genja's coming around the side as well. He's going to land his arcane shot straight away. Flame is not getting out of this one. He can pull, can do what the heck he likes, but he's no going to escape there. It is buying time though in the mid lane. We can see Azubu trying to pressure in towards that mid lane, try and pick up their first turret of the game, but here comes Diamond, here comes Darian. They're collapsing in from the top as well. Everybody's chasing down, and Azubu forced to back away again.
Just the pure presence there of Gambit forces them off, and look at this. They are starting the Baron at 21 minutes and 30 seconds. Who would have thought that we would see this kind of domination coming out of Gambit after game one, or even this morning before they'd done that to Frost, beating them 2-0. Baron is now very, very low and is going to be finished off. That is brilliant play, and they may just go over the top. Here comes Genja on towards Helios. Can they lock him down? Yes, they certainly can with Renekton in there. Stun goes in. Can Genja get the kill onto this one? Rest of the team coming around. Oh, it's going to be a big one. True shot barrage comes across. Crescendo didn't land, but it doesn't make that much difference because they're pushing all the way through, trying to pick up these kills here. Alex, who needs to be careful he doesn't overextend on this one. Darian is in on towards Flame. Hemoplague has gone down, and that may just force Gambit to back away somewhat, but they can tank the turret.
And this is just total domination. What did they do in the last 2 days to improve from the team that went 1-2 in the group stage to winning 3 games in a row against Azubu Frost and now Azubu Blaze. They're just looking to tutorial style it, take all the outer turrets, get their gold lead even bigger. Baron Buff has forever left. They're just pushing.
You know, so many times at tournaments I've heard, it's a surrender
Wow.
vote. 22 minutes in, a surrender vote from Azubu Blaze. They realize they cannot take